Hey, everybody.
I didn't give him warning.
Oh, hey.
So, Candle Magic Part 2.
Finally.
It's only been like a week.
I think it's been longer, but...
You know, it's 10:30. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, hi. So, last time we talked about colors and types of candles. Today we're going to dress some candles with you.
He's going to show you his method, and I'll show you my method.
I'll show you some jumbo.
I'm doing a glass encased 7-day candle. Would you
Go
like to
first.
Okay. Well, no pressure. But, let's see, with 7-day candles, they come with their sometimes called vigil candles. They have stuff that's printed up on the outside sometimes, and they have plain colors such as this. They call them 7-day candles, and most of the time they won't burn for 7 days. They'll be gone before then, or they burn slow. Sometimes different color waxes will actually burn slower. If I remember right, blue was one of the ones that burns a little bit slower, or it has a low flame. It's just because of the dye that was put in it. But this is what I'm going to be preparing is a Jupiter candle. Now, you may be asking, why am I using a blue candle? Because of the Kabbalistic correspondences that go with, color association. Blue is usually associated with Jupiter. Green is for Venus. Yellow is for the Sun. Red is for Mars. Orange is for Mercury. What else?
Which one did you say? Sorry, I zoned out.
It's been a long day. We were at work all day today. Red for Mars.
Red for Mars, Venus, green.
Moon is purple.
Purple, yes.
Yeah, but it goes with the Kabbalistic correspondences in the Queen scale. Saturn is black.
Sun is yellow.
Yep. So
Mercury, orange.
yeah, I said orange.
Did
so,
you?
yeah.
Okay.
But I'll be doing my Jupiter candle in blue to match the Kabbalistic correspondences. And for the Jupiter candle, I can go ahead and go with for expansion, growth, prosperity, money drawing, stuff like that. So I'll need a couple of things. First, obviously, candle. It can be either a glass encase, a jumbo, or it can be the tapers and stuff like that. What I'll use is a bottle of Florida water. The label fell off of this. 1 bottle of Jupiter oil, Jupiter powder mix that we make ourselves. First thing I want to do, and a lot of people say, is to clear your space and cleanse it off. So usually the way I do it, especially if it's just for simple color stuff or for candle magic, I use Florida water and I just splash it around. Sorry. So, and it's helps uplift the area. And I use Florida water a lot to remove funkiness from my candles. Some people say that you don't need to cleanse your candles, but I was always taught that you should clean off the negativity and the funkiness from your candles because other people handle these. So what I do is I got a little cotton pad, splash a little bit of Florida water on there, and I wipe from the base out, focusing on removing the negativity. You can say a short prayer or affirmation. It helps to instill this. Remove all negativity from this candle that will be purified both physically and spiritually. Get the wax. Now you don't want to be heavy-handed with your cleansing stuff because this is alcohol-based, and if you try to light it almost immediately, it will catch fire because alcohol.
Again, don't set your hand or your house on fire.
No, let your items dry off a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll take my bowling. Then I like to carve a little, whatchamacallit on there, pentagram, or you can do an equal arm cross. Or any other symbols that you want, such as runes.
You do the Jupiter symbol.
Yeah, the
like
symbol for
4.
Jupiter.
Probably looks reversed.
Yeah. You might not be able to see it on the, but it's got the carving of a pentagram on the inside. I use earth invoking pentagrams because for me that's like drawing in the physical manifestation of what I'm working towards. So, and I'll take my wooden skewer and I will put a little hole all the way through. That way if there's any overflow of oil or if I'm too heavy-handed with the oil has a place to escape.
You could also push things down into the hole too.
Yeah, herbs. You know,
Burn
curios,
petitions,
stuff like that.
Some people have you noticed they'll like roll up the petition and shove it down there. Me, I'm like, that's gonna set your ass on fire.
It's a fire hazard, so be careful. So get my oil, and only add a few drops. Again, while focusing on my intent. And you can say a chant or a prayer, manifest what it is that you're wanting. Just a little bit too much. You might also want some paper towels too in case you put too much oil in there.
I didn't get any, but I'm not getting up.
Yeah. And I dress it going clockwise because I want to draw that abundance and prosperity to me. Clockwise is to draw to you. You anoint counterclockwise to banish.
DS on leadership.
Some people will put a little bit of oil on the outside. And I also have Jupiter powder, which I feel enhances my spell. So I'll put just a pinch. You don't want to be too heavy-handed with this because it can cause the flame to not work, to not burn properly.
Oh yeah, we've seen candles that have like a thick layer of herbs on top, and we're like, oh my god.
Yes, fire hazard.
That
You
poor
don't want to
person
do that.
who lights it. Hopefully they're safe.
So now I have my herbs. Go off to one side. No, don't. And I got my incense burner. Some people will use incense. Some people won't. It's totally optional. And you can make a lighter. I prefer to use the long stem lighters, and they come in really handy, especially if you're going to be using these kind of candles, because you can snuff them out and then relight them on this way down at the bottom. I was always taught never to use or to blow out candles. They should burn in one sitting, but if you have to, do it. Make sure that you have them in a fire-safe area. Even though it's covered in or has a glass case, it doesn't mean that it's fire-safe, because sometimes the glass on these will crack or they'll explode. Especially if you use too much alcohol, then you kind of get into some tricky territory, and you want to make sure that you have a safe candle holder. Later on, this will end up getting put into a dish. It's metal, it's heavy, and it'll just go in like that. And then I'll have it set on my altar where I keep my other candles burning. Get my incense going. I might not have put enough incense on here, so it's going to be a little bit of a slow burn, but I don't want it to be too heavy-handed with the incense. And if you have breathing problems and you're not too crazy about incense, don't worry about it. You can use the oil burners, sprays, stuff like that. Pass it through. That's just something that I do, and my whole thing is focusing on, just as the incense smoke rises, so too shall it carry my prayers and petitions to the gods. Now, if you want, you can also write your petition on the outside of your candle, or you can draw symbols that are associated with your goal or your desire, or you write it on parchment and stick it under. If you don't have parchment, you can use regular paper, Post-its, that sort of thing.
Or you can burn the petition and stick it in.
That works. In this case, I am going to be using Sharpie. It's not Sharpie, it's actually paint pens. They make silver Sharpies that you can use, and I like to use these just because they look pretty.
It looks more elegant.
So usually I'd use gold or silver, but in this case I only use white so that you can see what's going on here. It's a fine tip paint pen. I'll do the symbol for Jupiter. There you go. Very simple.
Get pretty.
And I'll write my name on it. Just so it has more of an association with me, and I'm working towards abundance and prosperity, that sort of thing. And Jupiter's a little bit more heavy-handed with the prosperity, and what I've learned the hard way is Jupiter's expansive. It brings more to you of what it is that you already have. So if you're broke or you don't have a job, Jupiter's probably not the best thing to use because it can create more of that. So in my case, I work from home, and with the hopes that this will attract more clients and that sort of thing to me. So, just my lighter, I light up my wick. Pretty sure everything here is dry, and there's no more alcohol in there.
So we know how to deal with fire.
Yes. some energy built up. And you can here you can say a prayer or a little chant, whatever it is that you want, that you feel comfortable with. Study some, write some out. So you want a little jingle, something that'll flow nice and smooth when you're saying it. So in my case, I'd say, powers of Jove, I call to thee, bless me with prosperity. Powers of Jove, I call to thee, bless me with wealth and prosperity. Powers of Jove, I call to thee, bless me with wealth and prosperity. And I just focus on the candle flame, feeling the energy flow through my hands. And I visualize what I want. In this case, it's my phone blowing up with client calls. People hire me, better sales with my products, stuff like that. Now, ideally, you should not move your candles around. You should let stick them in a spot where they're going to burn and just let them burn down. In this case, we're going to go ahead and move it around, and it's going to go on the working altar in the back, which we'll show you eventually. We're just building up to other stuff. But that's how I would do my basic candle spell. There's a lot more involved. I'm just speeding through things right now. But this is how I would do things. Now, when you're using the paint pens or Sharpie, be careful because there is some alcohol in there. So you don't want to use it on something like this because it could, cause the flame to get all wonky and weird. So just be cautious. And make sure that you have a suitable candle holder so it doesn't go and you end up with a fireball in the middle of the night while you're trying to sleep and you set your house on fire. That's not good. So. Oh, like, what are you looking at?
Oh, I made the cat do that the other day. He was like, "You're not allowed to hang out with it no more."
Yeah, Mojo's our cat, and he's just sleeping back here.
Mm-hmm. She's who I was petting and talking to. But yeah. Alright, so with jumbo candles, the way that I dress it, you can use it for tapers, you can use it for birthday candles, you can use it for, what are those ones? Chimes?
Yes.
So the way I do it is I'll cleanse the candle from the wick down to the base, rubbing it widdershins.
Counterclockwise.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll envision it being cleansed of all previous encounters with people. No more energy on it. All energy is being taken off. It's cleansed. And now I'll recap my Florida water. Agua de Florida. And what I like to do with them, if they're not in glass and I want to add symbols, I'll carve it. I'll use the bowling or even Mr. Pokey. Mr. Pokey might be easier.
I feel like Vanna White. I feel like Vanna White.
And I'll carve different things for success because I'm going to use orange. Because orange is attracting. It's great for communication. It kind of helps you get noticed easier. So with that, I'm going to imbue it with the powers of success. And I'll carve things like if you want to work with like very solar energy, if you want to, you could put the symbol of the sun. You could put money signs to help you be successful with that. There was one, was it Keone on YouTube who did the success seal sign?
Yes.
And it was a $, 2-cent signs, followed by 2 more $, which basically is the success.
Yeah, well, that was more popularized by Cat Ironwood.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember I saw it from Keone first, so
yeah,
I'm trying to give him props.
So both are really good work.
They
workers.
are.
Lots of information.
Mm-hmm. I like Alvarado too.
Yeah.
Success. You could do different things, like if you want to be a little bit luckier, depending on the spell, runes, pretty much anything. But I'm going to keep that there as a success. I also will carve different pentagrams. So for this one, kind of like how he did, I'm going to do the invoking earth to draw it in. And then I'll also do the jessel symbol, which is the spiral going jessel, or clockwise, with an arrow to denote which way it's going to flow. And then I'll carve my name on it so that way it knows where to bring it to. And I'll just carve it going down because it's a little bit easier considering I'm using a pokey or wooden skewer shish kebab stick.
Nut picks work really well too.
It does. It's amazeballs.
We have a metal one in the other room. We just couldn't find it because
Actually, I found it when I was cleaning yesterday.
Okay. Well, yeah. The
But I like this one.
workroom's kind of messy.
Not my fault.
We get messy when we do a lot of work. We gotta vacuum like every 2 days.
Yeah. Anyways, here's some success oil I made. From scratch. He taught me.
We like to make a lot of our own oils because we know what's going in them. We know that they're made during the proper planetary and astrological phases, and that kind of for us, it kind of adds a little oomph to the work.
And so this one, since I'm building, I'll anoint it from the base upwards, almost like when you're building a structure. And I'll twist my hand going gesso or clockwise to anoint it going that way, so that way it brings this into me.
Now, everybody has different methods of anointing candles. So,
I know, he goes crazy and keeps looking at me, I know.
Yeah. I was taught to bring something to you from the wick to the base.
Well, I'm doing it like this because it's being built. Rather than when you're cleansing, like with your body, you go from the top to the bottom.
So, for me, for cleansing work, I always go from wick to base because I'm removing, from base to wick because I'm removing stuff. So, like I said, different methods, different strokes for different folks.
That sounds dirty.
Yes, it did.
And then I'm going to be using wax paper, because I don't feel like making another mess, to roll my candle into its conditioning powder. So here's some success powder that we made. Can't remember if you made this batch or if I did. I know, right? I make it.
Smells good.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't remember.
And when we're making them, we'll do the proper phases, but we also like to make sure it's empowered. And I think the way that Lady Gravedancer calls it is enchanting the herb to kind of live in it and give it its energy. And I'll just draw a little success sign with the earth invoking into it too, just because it feels right. And then I'm going to roll it towards me because I'm drawing this. You don't need a lot, otherwise you might accidentally catch the sides of your candle on fire, and that's another fire hazard, and you don't need to put any pets in harm's way, or your loved ones, or any of your stuff.
Especially stuff.
Oh,
I like video games.
You're addicted.
Mm-hmm.
So I just roll and envision all of the success I desire coming to me.
Usually when we're working on these things, we're a lot quieter. He's doing his thing, and especially when we're in circle. He's doing his own thing, I'm doing my own thing, and we're not talking or jibber-jabbering like this. So.
Mm-mm. Yeah, so that's when he pays less attention to me and I do my work.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story where somebody slapped themselves in the middle of ritual, and I was like,
What? So worth it.
that was funny.
Yeah, that spell manifested quick.
It scared the crap out of me, too.
It was funny as hell, though.
I thought he was having a stroke or something. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, it's like just imagine the ER call. Alright, and now comes the point where a lot of people will charge their candle. So I'll do the same thing with the smoke that he does. I actually stole it from him. But, just as this instant smoke rises, so too shall my prayers and petitions be lifted up to the gods. By my will, so mote it be.
So mote it be.
Thank you.
We have this thing where everybody, when somebody says so mote it be, everybody else around it just yells it. I'm not sure if it's an us thing, or I've never seen anybody else do it, but it's sort of like...
I like to do it in public.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Oh my god! So mote it be!
So mote it be.
Praise! Yeah. Anyways, so the way I charge it with the smoke, that was done. However, the next thing I do is, because it's for me, I'll imbue it with my own energy. So the way I learned it, I can't remember their name. It was back in New Mexico. I had later seen it on YouTube as well, but I learned it from one of my friend's grandparents out there. Yeah. So anyways, you rub your hands together like he did to build up the energy. Almost like that little ball exercise you do when you start to practice witchcraft. And then you kind of fill it, and then you pull from your, not the receptive, but the other hand, what's it called?
Your projective.
My projective or power hand, which I'm left-handed, so I pull it out of my left. It's a string of energy, and then you wrap it around the candle 3 times in a circle. I do things in 3s. And then I do the yoni sign, or you can do the manifestation triangle, and then I'll do it again. And let's picture this energy imbued into this. And then I'll do it again. Now let's picture it glowing with the energies that I need. And then I'll knock it. Which also helps to seal in the energy that you put on it, as well as to kind of knock off extra herbs that could possibly catch it on fire. So, before I write my petition, I'm going to melt the bottom so that way it can stick to the candle holder, which is going on this plate. Sorry, you're going to have to find another plate. And
I'll punch in the back. But when you're using candle holders, I do not recommend using the glass ones, especially for tapers or jumbos. They shatter.
I've had
they
so
crack.
many shatter.
I've lost so many of those over the years. It's not even funny. So if you can get some metal candle holders, those would be best. But make sure that they're stable too, and they're not shaky or anything like that. In case you get some people walking by who are heavy-footed. I like to stomp. So like Jurassic Park when they're walking by.
Don't judge me.
We have a cat that likes to run around in the middle of the night, and she's a big girl. So
What is she, like 15 pounds?
I don't think she's that heavy,
But she's so freaking fluffy.
Yeah.
And when you're lighting your lighter, don't put it underneath the candle. Wax gets in this hole, and then it sucks trying to light it.
What that little one that I have?
The one in front of you?
Oh yeah, there it is. My bad.
Alright,
Like I said, long day.
so this is in. I should probably add more wax. Yeah, I didn't even seal it right.
You want it to stick so it's stable.
Yeah, you want it sticky. Sorry. Innuendos abound with Scorpio. Yes, I admit it. I see you looking at me out of the corner of my eye. Stop it.
We're talking about our viewers.
You. So mine, I always have to keep an extra hand because I can't even put a candle up straight. And because there's extra herbs in here, I'll put it like this and keep it here to keep at the base of the candle, underneath where the petition will be. So with writing petitions, you want to be specific because that's the way it should be, because you get exactly what you ask for. What do you call it? Monkey paw syndrome?
Yes. The universe is
Smart aleck.
ironic.
Smart aleck.
Yeah. I had one person I fixed a candle for a while back, and she wanted money. So I fixed her a money drawing candle and told her, light this and
Write your petition.
write your petition. And I always told my people that I'm working for, be careful what you wish for. And she's like, why? I was like, just be careful what you wish for. You don't want to hurt anybody inadvertently. She's like, okay. So I hear from her maybe about a couple of weeks later, and she's like upset and mad. She's like, your candle didn't work, and getting mad at me. I was like, what happened? What's wrong? She's like, well, now bill collectors are calling me. They're taking money out of my check, blah, blah, blah. And I asked her, what did you write in a petition? She tells me, I don't remember. Okay, well, when you get home from work, let me know. Send me a picture of it.
I love this story.
So she calls me later when she gets home from work. She has a petition. She saved the glass because I usually tell people that I'm working with, save the glass so that it can be read later on. If the candle burns all black, like especially with the jar candles, that's not usually a good sign. Spiritual cleansing is usually needed in that case. If you get white soot around the chimney of the candle, like about here, that's usually a good sign. Spirits are working in your favor, blah, blah, blah. So she tells me, I want to pay off all my bills. I was like, and where do things go wrong? I don't have any money. My money, my wages are being garnished. What did you write? I want to pay off my bills. Where's the problem? They're taking all my money. What did you write? I get that way with clients, and I had to repeat it a couple times. I wanted to pay off all my bills. So what's happening? My wages are being garnished. Why? For my bills. Oh, yeah. Be careful what you wish for. So I had to do some other work just to help her out with their financial situation, which all ended up working out in her favor. It just took extra long and a lot of extra drama. So when you write your petitions, it's kind of weird, but it's like be direct, but be open.
Yeah, with me, I'm like very like, oh my god, what should I write? Because I always end up missing something.
Yeah. And a lot of times too, I don't really write petitions unless I really have to. And most of the time I'll go in front of my candle every day, hold my hands around it, and I'll say a chant or a jingle for what it is that I want. In this case, prosperity and abundance. So my whole Jupiter chant, which I'm not going to remember right now, but Jupiter now I call to thee, bless me with wealth and prosperity. Jupiter now I call to thee, bless me with wealth and prosperity. And Silver Raven Wolf actually gave a really good safety clause, and by putting in for the good of all and with harm towards none, just so you don't get any weird backlash and
like your great aunt or your grandma dying or something, you get money.
Yeah, I know some magicians who have done money drawing work and they end up getting hurt badly, and insurance payouts. Yeah, and he will not do any money drawing work whatsoever when it comes to open-ended stuff. But doing a safety clause at the end of your work is probably best, especially when it comes to doing love attraction candles. I have other stories on that, but
those are hilarious.
Yeah, they're not really safe for YouTube stuff, so we don't want to get reported or anything. But they're funny.
Are you talking about the underwear ones or the semen and menstrual blood ones?
No, just like a standard love drawing candle.
There's a lot of them already on YouTube.
Yeah. So.
See, I don't even think I want to use my petition, but I'm writing one. So, anyways, when writing them, I always say, "This is my will to yada 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 yada." This one is to be successful at ... because I don't feel like saying it.
Yeah, power shared is power lost. So be careful with the amount of info that you put out on your petition. What that you share on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's like Facebook,
but worse.
Yeah.
Like this one. I get super paranoid, so it makes me feel better whenever I make him double check it. But I'm writing it 3 times, and then I'll add the oils on top of the petition, as well as different seals around it or behind it.
Mm-hmm. You can also use planetary seals, like from the Key of Solomon, the Greater Key. I do not recommend using a lesser Key of Solomon from the Goetia. That can get funky results because those are demonic seals. Planetary seals are more in direct with the energy, and they call on the angel. Some of the seals call on the angelic powers.
What was that person that did a boon candle? And then they're like, "Oh, thank God!" What happened to him? They lost something or something?
Oh yeah, that was one of my clients who did some work with the Goetia Spirit boon. We fixed a candle as an offertory that they had to burn at home, and they kept praying to
God.
Christian.
The Christian God. He didn't even give it a name.
Yeah, it didn't work out well at all. So he just said, "Did I, light your candle and I pray to Jesus?" No, don't do that. Unless you're invoking him for that specific purpose. So you're not gonna light a candle to Kernanos and then you're gonna pray to Isis for help while your candle's going. So.
What happened to him though?
It just made his finances get all wonky. He lost his house, and yeah. So.
Well, yeah, you're insulting it.
Yeah.
Don't call something that's not its name by another name.
Yeah.
Is this so mean?
It's like you going up to somebody who you think you know, and you ask them for a favor, but you're calling them something else. And I've had that happen a couple of times where one person was calling me Brandon for the longest time, and she asked me for help, and I was like, "I can help you. You don't even know my name." Bueno.
And now that I've put my petition, wrote it 3 times down, because I do things in 3 as well. Oh yeah, shout out to Connie.
Hey Connie.
Hi. Thank you for giving us a shout out. That's supposed to be a heart. It looked like...
like goggles?
No. We see you. We watch your videos.
Yes.
Oh wow, that looks super creepy. She's a Scorpio too, so props.
I get along really well with Scorpios.
For being a Leo?
Yeah. Leo with Cancer rising, but I get along really well with Scorpios. I'm not sure why, it's just a fluke.
I have a crap ton of Scorpio on my chart.
Yeah. But I'm also one of those that, I can get along pretty much with anybody.
That's nice.
It is. It's just I can't get people together, so it's like, hey, I can't hang out with you because you're kind of...
an ass.
And my other friends are going to be like, "You don't like that person." Yeah, and it's happened before. So
I make my points known.
Yeah, especially when I'm introducing him to older friends of mine, and he's like,
Some of them are awesome.
Oh yeah,
except for like 2 of yours. You have really weird friends sometimes.
Yeah, this coming from pagans. It's weird. I get along well with them.
What did Willow call that group in that meme? I respect different pagans and different views that they have. However, that friend...
I want a bunch. I want to bless the bees.
Yes. There's a few that I've met, not really here in Arizona, all over the place. Very respectable.
Well, to each their own. If it works for you, then go for it.
Until they start being preachy.
Yeah, preachy's not good.
Preachy brings out my tail.
Yes,
With his finger. Doesn't mean I'm going to curse them, it just means I'm going to talk a lot of smack. To their face, not behind their back.
Yeah, I just ignore them after that. I'm like,
And now my candle is dressed. Petition placed beneath it. Some people will either write their name and then turn it clockwise so that petition rolls over them. Like for this one, it would be success. Some people will do it for love binding. Not going to go into that right now. Now that that's placed, your candle's charged. You can invoke a higher force. For me, I just want general success for what I'm doing.
no, your computer didn't freeze. We're just really still.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I didn't pre-write a chant, so we're going to go on the fly, even though we're at like 31 minutes.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to have a chant too. Just like to
I like
and
chants.
visualize.
I
Yeah,
like
some
chants.
people do, some people don't.
Success. I now reel in by earth, sky. No, by earth, sea, fire, and sky. Success. Oh, wait, hold on. By earth and air and flame and sea. Success. I now reel in. Damn it, I just had it. Right here.
This is why you should write your chants down first. That's a good example of that.
But it's right here.
Especially when inspiration hits at those awkward moments. Little post-it thingies. I have a bunch of them all over the place. I think I bought a new book today and it had
That
some
book is
really cool
awesome.
stuff in it. And I just got hit with all these like, ooh, money drawing chant. Ooh, new love drawing chant. Ooh, new protection chant. Ooh, new road opener chant. So I have like about a few post-its with some new chants that we're going to be experimenting with later on. So, but yeah.
For the good of all, with harm towards none, the spell I cast will soon be done. Success. Now be with me, by my will, so mote it be. For the good of all, with harm towards none, the spell I cast will soon be done. Success, now be with me, by my will, so mote it be. For the good of all, with harm towards none, the spell I cast will soon be done. Success, now with me be, as I will, so mote it be.
So mote it be.
And then you light your candle. You can further add in a second chant if you want. Some people do, like Powers of Firework that will by my desire, which will probably be easier. And you can continue chanting that as you stare into the flame because you basically told it its intent with the previous one. So I'm going to picture the success I desire. Powers of Firework by will by my mind. Powers of Firework by will by my desire.